Hello everyone, this is Anu from the Australian Academy. The cue card that I am going to discuss with you today is talk about an interesting animal which you look for the first time, and you have to say when you saw it, where you saw it, what it looks like, and explain why it was interesting. See, we all have come across so many animals in our life, but here in this particular cue card you have to talk about an interesting animal, why, and the one which you have seen for the first time. Okay, you have to tell when and where you saw that particular animal, and you have to give a description of that animal because it was quite interesting, and then the reason why you found that particular animal as interesting. Okay, so you can start by giving an introduction, a general introduction about animals, that they are the most beautiful creations of nature, and my country boasts of a diverse range of fauna. Fauna means the animal life. Okay, then you can move on to the topic as to when and where you saw this particular animal. I am talking about my visit to a zoo, that you can say that recently I visited a particular zoo. You can name, if I am staying in Chandigarh, I would like to talk about Chhatbir Zoo, which I visited with my friends. While going through all the sections, when we visited the nocturnal animal section, I was fascinated by a small furry animal which was actually a porcupine. We had hired a guide who told us that particular animal was a porcupine, and it was a large rodent which had coats of sharp spikes like things which were known as quills. They were like thorns emanating from its body, and I had never ever seen that particular animal before, so I was quite fascinated by its look. The guide then later told us that these quills or these spikes or thorns were the specialized defense system of that particular animal. Usually it does not come out in the daytime. Obviously that is why it was under the category of nocturnal animals. Nocturnal animals are those who come out for preying in the night time only. And what caught my fancy, what was very interesting or intriguing about that particular porcupine was, although it had a very small prickly body, it did not look very harmful or very dangerous to me. But while observing, I saw that sometimes the quills were very flat and all of a sudden they were raised up. When I asked the guide, he told me that it was actually when it feels threatened, then the quills they raise up, and sometimes it cannot shoot on its own, but if the predator is quite close, it is in its vicinity, then the predator gets stuck in those quills. So it is actually protecting this particular porcupine from those predators. So that knowledge was very much interesting for me, because I had never ever come across this particular animal while in my daily life or anywhere, and then it was indeed an interesting marvel of nature, because this was something very intriguing and very interesting for me to note. Now that we are done with the cue card, let's look at some of the follow-up questions. Why do people like to keep pets? What is the importance of having pets in your house, or maybe? So the reason could be that pets, they act as a wonderful companions. You can see that many people who have got small children, they love to keep dogs and cats in their home as pets, because they are acting as a wonderful companion, and especially it instills feelings like empathy, sharing and caring in that child. Moreover, this taking care of the pets is quite therapeutic. When the person is maybe suffering from loneliness, then he gets a opportunity to take care of these pets, and it takes out the loneliness and the depression or the anxiety which is caused maybe due to some other reason. So it is actually the unconditional love and the security that is offered by these pets which actually help people in overcoming these problems like depression and anxiety. So you can say that it is, the pets act as a wonderful companion, and they provide security also. Like many people, they keep dogs as pets just for the security reason, and the unconditional love that is provided through these pet caring. So that is how you can answer this particular question. Now if the question asks that medical researches are conducted on animals, everyone knows that whatever the recent researches, the medical science, whatever the research or the studies they do, experiments are done on particularly rats, or because their genetic composition is quite similar to the human composition. So that is why these researches are conducted on these animals. So the question says, is this a good idea? Obviously it is not a good idea. It is totally unethical and morally wrong, because most of the time these animals, they lose their lives. So it is not advisable to play with somebody's life. Just because human race is considered superior, we cannot just play havoc with these life of these animals. But on the other hand, if we just take out this, we do not conduct any experiments or research on these animals, then how will we come to know about the possible new drugs? How can we test? Obviously that cannot be tested on humans. So the only thing that can be done is that the government should impose certain rules and regulations, so that these researches are not conducted in an indiscriminate way. In fact, they should be conducted in a more humane way. When and where it is required, then only these things should be done. Indiscriminate usage of animals for research purposes should be curbed. Right. Then if the question asks, how do people in your country feel about wild animals? Here particularly they are talking about wild animals. What is the opinion, what is the perspective of people in general? So we can say that different people, they have got different mindsets. Most of the people, they are scared of wild animals. Nobody wants to go near a lion or a tiger or an elephant, but yes, some of them, they appreciate them, they like them, and they actually especially make a trip to, they take a jungle safari or they visit a zoo, so that they can come close to them and know them better, because we cannot keep these wild animals as pets. But the intrigue factor or the interest that they have, maybe they have seen these animals on National Geographic channel or Discovery channel, because these days these channels are very popular. They actually give you a deep insight into the behavior or the lifestyle, the way these animals behave in the jungle. So the jungle safaris are also quite popular as tourist spots. Okay, and some people, they actually hunt these wild animals for their commercial reasons, maybe for their skin. You must have heard about the illegal smuggling of tiger skin and all. So different people have got a different mindset. If it is asked, so many animals are extinct nowadays. Everyone knows that many of the animal species, they are either endangered or they are literally become extinct. So why do you think it is happening? The examiner wants to know what is the reason behind the extinction of so many species of animals. You can say basically it is the human activities like the hunting and the deforestation and rapid urbanization. All these things, they are actually ruining the natural habitat of these animals. When they are not getting their place to live and survive in their natural surroundings, obviously they will not get their proper food. They, due to paucity of these both shelter and food, they will die, and gradually their number would decrease. So the ruining of their natural habitat and indiscriminate poaching, that is illegal hunting, that is actually, these are some of the factors which has led to the extinction of a large number of species. Okay. Why is wildlife tourism important? What is the importance of wildlife tourism? Wildlife tourism means, that means the promotion of wildlife. Why is there so much of awareness being created about the wildlife? There is jungle safaris. These are also a means of wildlife tourism. The reason being is, like, many of the species of animals are getting extinct, and due to this rapid urbanization, the activities of humans like encroachment and commercialization, and we are playing actually with the main habitat of these animals. We are cutting down the trees and the natural forest. So due to all these activities, the animals are suffering. So it is very vital, it is very important to put a stop, to put a stop on these activities and create an awareness to promote tourism. It is very important for the general public to be realized that they should actually enjoy the beauty of this nature rather than just savage this environment for their own personal gains. I hope the cue card and the follow-up questions are clear to you. Thank you.